My concubine's hair covers her forehead at the beginning, and she plays in front of the folding flower gate. Lang rode a bamboo horse and circled around the bed, playing with green plums. Two little ones can guess without hesitation. Time inexplicably kicked Xu Cheng back to 1998, 25 years ago, when he was still a 6-year-old boy in kindergarten who had wet his pants and needed the help of a teacher to clean them. Fate cleverly intertwined him with the missed meaning, and Xu Cheng once again encountered the once-forgotten beauty deep in his memory. This time, I made a promise to grow up together with the dandelion. Xu Cheng, why do you like spring so much? Because people who miss each other will eventually meet in the bright spring days. Keywords of the novel. Rebirth together, growing up without pop-ups, rebirth together, growing up TXT complete collection download, rebirth together, growing up latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Sadness and Joy in Spring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Sadness and Joy in Spring. People's joys and sorrows are not interconnected, I just feel that they are noisy. Looking at everything in front of her, Xu Cheng's fist the size of Xiaolongbao was slightly clenched. The rebirth of others is all about meeting the white moonlight in the midsummer of June. Why did I return to kindergarten? Hey! And he, who had just been reborn, scared himself in the arms of the female teacher. Brackets, in physical terms. My little face is very red, and my butt is very cold. Xu Cheng's wet pants were stripped off in public, and the limited space in the kindergarten forced him to scrub his body on the spot. The young little sheep teacher cleaned him up and didn't forget to kiss his little face, encouraging the shy Xu Cheng. It's okay, he said. Xu Orange was just moved by the fact that teacher Xiaoyang was also too lazy. The next second, she called on other children who had just woken up at noon to cheer for Xu Orange together. This made Xu Cheng really want to find a crack in the ground to crawl in, because the sound was too loud, and more children joined in the onlookers. He was just being pointed at like this, and his shame index was simply full. But no matter how shameful, Xu Cheng couldn't stop the fact. He just put his hands in his pockets. Isn't it kindergarten? Isn't it 1998? In 1998, a quote from a famous poet was "The spring breeze of reform blows all over the land, and the people of Dragon Kingdom are truly full of vitality." In 1998, at the end of the century, all kinds of frosty weather competed for freedom. In 1998, it remained unbreakable. The great heavenly dynasty has launched a vigorous reform of state-owned enterprises, with the country retreating and the people advancing. The pain of the wave of layoffs has brought the country towards the upcoming 21st century of light and simple transportation. In 1998, the welfare housing distribution system was abolished nationwide, and housing prices immediately went crazy. In June, the housing prices in the Magic City area rose to 2,300 yuan per square meter, and the average monthly salary of employees in the Magic City area was 1,004 yuan per month. In 1998, the three giants bat were not even fertilized eggs, and even the earliest OICQ was a proposal that Pony was ready to abandon at any time. The legendary Intel rapidly expanded worldwide at an almost crazy speed. In 1998, there was a fight among the immortals in the Chinese music industry, and Ren Xianqi's popularity was unparalleled. Even the four arrogant heavenly kings could only be considered as his accompaniment. The popularity of Heart Too Soft and The Girl Across From You Looking Over was comparable to children's songs. It wasn't until 2 years later that a heavenly king who loved drinking milk tea would end his era. In 1998, Lu Gong, who was far away at the Niangziguan power plant, had not yet written the famous sentence, "Physics no longer exists." So although this rebirth may seem a bit outrageous, Xu Cheng still feels refreshing. Open your hand, I'm full of rocket. Piety. A red flower pattern sticker was stuck in Xu Orange's hand. Xu Cheng, reward you with a small flower. The little lamb teacher in a saxi needed Xu Orange's small brain bag melon. Xu Cheng, what do you want to say to thank others? Ali Gajuo Mei Yang Yang sang. Teacher Xiaoyang symbolically left a group of children playing in the classroom after class. Xu Cheng naturally doesn't know anyone. His memory of kindergarten is basically zero, and he has to start remembering things from elementary school. Surprisingly, Xu Cheng felt a sense of comfort that had not been felt in many years. Kindergarten life is really simple, there are no adult world intrigues between children except for, Xu Cheng is a pants pea. An annoying little chubby guy swayed back and forth in front of Xu Cheng's face, trying to provoke him with his two big snots swinging back and forth. But Xu Cheng didn't want to take it lightly with a child. He turned his head to one side and picked up the Sherlock Holmes Adventure Collection, which had been folded upside down by an unknown teacher on the chair. He lay down on the chair and flipped through it. Just after looking at a few rows, a small chair came up with a little girl's head. Xu Cheng. The sound of milk in the milk echoed in Xu Cheng's ear. Xu Cheng, could you also thank me a little? Xu Cheng's face was full of inexplicability, and he shifted his gaze from the book to the girl. Why should I thank you? Because, the girl clenched her little fist and explained anxiously. She had a neat bangs on her forehead and a blue headband tied around her head, looking very cute. Because I found out that Xu Cheng was sick. I went to tell teacher Xiaoyang. Everyone is taking a nap, only I can hear what Xu Cheng has been saying. It's a different world, a village, a companion. Xu Orange slapped her forehead, no wonder she was reborn in the arms of teacher Xiaoyang and solved the case. By the way, I also carefully examined the girl. She was wearing a pink-blue dress and was about the same height as Xu Cheng, less than 1 meter tall. Her eyes are large, watery and agile, her eyelashes are long, fluttering like butterfly wings. Her lips are rosy, her chin is fair, and when her mouth slightly pouts, there are 2 shallow dimples on her cheeks. Xu Cheng has seen many childhood photos of actresses, and perhaps the most memorable ones are the smile from Xiao Qiandai, the 3.5 billion words from Lu Tian Aicai, and the furry Hermione. In terms of cuteness, this girl is no less than them at all. Watching the girl staring at him with watery eyes, Xu Cheng coughed twice to clear his throat. What's your name? Xu Cheng, why don't you remember my name? Aren't we good friends? Seeing Xu Orange's unrecognizable appearance, the girl's eyes turned red. Her beautiful eyes immediately burst into crystal-clear tears, as if tears of grievance were about to burst from her eyes in the next second. Xu Cheng was stunned. Are we good friends? Don't cry, I'll buy you a lollipop tomorrow, Xu Cheng said hurriedly, seeing that a few drops of crystal-clear water had already flowed from the corner of her eye. Sugar-coated bullets don't work at all. As he watched the chubby little man beside him prepare to complain, he had to extend his palm and place it in front of the girl. Actually, I'm just testing you to see if you can write your own name. This time the girl spoke, I can write. She rubbed her red eyes and reached out to compare scissors in front of Xu Cheng. I won, what the hell? I asked you to write your name on my palm. Oh. The girl's eyes, which were still red just now, were like fireworks in the starry sky. In an instant, the light dissipated. She grabbed Xu Cheng's palm and wrote 3 words on it with her icy fingers, stroke by stroke. His fingernails scratched on his palms, a little itchy. Xu Cheng also knew the girl's name. Lin Wan Congee. Thank you, Lin Wan Congee. Yeah, thanks from Xu Cheng. Lin Wan Congee jumped happily, as if he had received some valuable rewards. It seems that he forgot all his sadness just now. It's really the joys and sorrows of spring. Xu Cheng sighed and continued reading. Early in the morning, Holmes threw a piece of paper on the table and asked me for an answer. There were some inexplicable symbols drawn on the paper. Pa, Xu Cheng lifted his head and closed the book with a shocked expression on his face. What's her name? Lin Wan Congee. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Vinegar jar turns Congee. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Vinegar jar turns Congee Lin-Wan Congee. During Xu Cheng's time studying, he was truly familiar with this name. The top student in high school who consistently ranked first in the grade. The goddess of high and cold in key classes. Almost every Monday, after the flag raising in the whole school is over, good students are required to take the stage to give speeches under the national flag. When it comes to cultural and artistic performances of all sizes, she either takes the stage to play the piano or takes on the position of female host. There are also female broadcasters from the school radio station and the absolute mainstay of the school debate team on May 4th every year. They are the learning stars and the three good students. Awards of all sizes are almost easy to win. Whether teachers or parents, they always say to you, "Look at Lin-Wan's Congee," or, "Can you learn from Lin-Wan's Congee?" It's like the ceiling inside someone else's child. Looking at the seemingly unintelligent little baby in front of Xu Cheng, he couldn't connect her with the campus goddess who kept strangers away. Is this really the same person? What has she gone through these years? Are we actually classmates in kindergarten? And it seems like they are still very good friends. Lin-Wan Congee still has stars in her eyes, and she tugs at Xu Cheng's clothes with great tenderness. "Xu Cheng, Mom said only those who like you can kiss you. In the future, you can't just let teacher Xiaoyang kiss you casually, okay, Gu." Looking at Lin-Wan Congee's expression of putting his hands on his hips and warning himself seriously, Xu Cheng couldn't help burping. Lin-Wan Congee is not jealous, is it? Blink until 4 o'clock. Parents came to the kindergarten one after another, greeted the teachers, and then led the children away. Xu Cheng waited obediently, thinking whether it would be his father Xu Jianghe picking him up or his mother Hiying. The result came from Hiying, who had already become a little old lady in her memory. She was now over 20 years younger, with collagen on her face and dense black hair, as if telling the charm of young women. At this moment, Xu Cheng suddenly realized that the old mother who always nagged about wanting to hold a big grandson was really beautiful when she was young. "Why didn't you leave a few more photos?" "Hey, teacher Xiaoyang, Xu Cheng is so old that he still wets his pants. Could I trouble you?" "No, no, you're welcome, Mrs. Xu Cheng." Xu Cheng is usually very well behaved. Hiying thanked teacher Xiaoyang for his care and loudly nagged Xu Cheng. "Xu Cheng. How many times have I told you? If I can't hold it anymore, I'll go to the bathroom quickly. I'm almost in elementary school, how can I pee in my pants?" The voice was quite loud, attracting many other parents to look at Xu Cheng with a playful expression as he was about to start elementary school. Xu Cheng stood at attention and nodded frantically, praying for his mother to save some face. Fortunately, he was a sunny and happy big boy, and if he was psychologically fragile, the future flowers of his motherland would be shattered. Hiying noticed that Xu Cheng was listening attentively to him. Although she didn't know if she had listened, there was always a sense of achievement in her successful education, and she only spoke a few fewer words than before. Farewell to teacher Xiaoyang, Hiying held Xu Cheng and placed him on the shiny back seat of the Phoenix brand bicycle. Then, with a run-up, he skillfully completed a set of side starts and led Xu Cheng away. It's still early at 4 o'clock, and Hiying didn't take Xu Cheng home immediately. Instead, he took him to the neighboring Wang's house to play mahjong. Although only separated by 2 doors, the conditions of Aunt Wang's family and Xu Cheng's family are vastly different. At Aunt Wang's house, there is also a Lu Shaoqing brand large color TV and an expensive big but computer that has not yet been fully popularized. In the eyes of ordinary people, this is already a wealthy and prosperous family. To replace it with Xu Cheng's house, it would be: "Go, take out the half cucumber from the refrigerator and stir-fry 4 dishes for the child." The neighbors gathered around a table of mahjong, while Xu Cheng was directly sent to play computer games with Wang Yi's son, Zhuang, who had just finished school. Zhuang Ji's original name was Tan Song. Xu Cheng remembers that Tan Song seems to be 3 years older than him. By calculation, he will start 3rd grade in elementary school this year. His bedroom is not big, although there is no shared apartment now. He can't resist the small size of the house, which is only 90 square meters. Xu Cheng obediently sat on the small stool, watching Tan Song skillfully turn on the computer next to him. The computer configuration was good, not even breaking 486, but the latest version of the Pentium. Nowadays, computers can already surf the internet. You only need to connect to a phone line to dial up the internet, but the speed is extremely slow, only a few kb, and as soon as a phone call comes, you will disconnect from the internet. Tan Song clicked to open a game and admonished Xu Cheng beside him, "Let's play this. Watch it well." Xu Cheng nodded and said, Tan Song played a game that Xu Cheng also knew, The Legend of Heroes in Hallua. However, as a primary school student, Tan Song couldn't understand it at all. He was basically like a headless fly flying around aimlessly, and countless times he gave it away, creating a line of 10 years of life and death, two vast expanses that made Xu Cheng look anxious. "Tan Songa, let me play for a while." Tan Song is addicted to the internet, where would Xu Cheng play? He didn't even leave the screen and casually waved his hand, saying, "You don't know how to play, just watch me play." Xu Cheng sat on the stool in frustration, took a deep breath, remained silent for a long time, and then suddenly pointed to the screen. "Take a look over there, there's a box there. Take a look, have you obtained the Pine Wind Sword Manual? With it, one can ward off evil spirits. Go over there, go down, go over there, go up a bit more. Yes, go right, it's just that cave. Take that Tang poetry collection, whether you want saltpeter or not." Tan Song glanced at Xu Cheng in surprise. This neighbor's younger brother is amazing. After playing for so long, I didn't know that there were so many hidden events in this game, but things are far from that simple. Don't rush to leave after defeating Yen Ji. Over there, there's the Heavenly King's life-saving pill in the box. It's a good thing. Don't rush in, you'll eat a few ginseng first. If you go in, you'll have a fight. First, go find something for Murong Fu. If you can win Wang Yuyan, it will be at least half as easy to fight with her. With Xu Cheng's guidance, Tan Songren was going to be foolish. Isn't this little Xu Cheng too divine? You're just a gaming genius. He has been playing this game for several months, never before has it been as smooth as today. Under Xu Cheng's guidance, it feels like cheating, and this refreshing gaming experience can't be undone even after trying it once. What other storylines like Snow Mountain Flying Fox, Divine Eagle Heroes, and Heaven Sword Dragon Saber have never been triggered by themselves? Watching himself effortlessly killing small monsters in the game, Tan Song felt dizzy now. This is playing games. Such a powerful archive, looking back for classmates to see, couldn't it shock the whole year? As a sophomore, he wouldn't be curious about how Xu Cheng knew all this. Instead, he would want to continue to become stronger and become the most beautiful boy in the class. Tan Song looked at Xu Cheng and imitated his adult demeanor. With a flattering expression on his face, he rubbed his hands and flattered, "Orange, you can teach your brother how to play later." Xu Cheng placed his hands around his chest. "Want to know?" Tan Song nodded anxiously and said, Line. Xu Cheng spread his little hand forward. "Pay for it." End of this chapter. Chapter 3. A confidence in playing at a card table. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. A confidence in playing at a card table. Upon hearing that he needed more money, Tan Song's face flashed with hesitation. "How much is it?" "Humph, 1 yuan. Xu Cheng, as a reborn person, revealed his wildness without any disguise. "The prices are not high, and snacks are cheap. Soda, spicy noodles, and instant noodles are only a few cents, and sesame candy is even calculated by points. 1 yuan is already enough for Xu Cheng, a kindergarten child, to spend for a long time." Tan Song opened the drawer under the table, and inside, the music box, iron frog, and small soldiers collided with each other, making a clanging sound. Here it is. Tan Song pulled out a brand new ink blue banknote from the drawer and handed it to Xu Cheng's hand. It read 10 yuan and depicted a young man and an old farmer in northern Shaanxi, which was completely different from Xu Cheng's impression of 10 yuan. I don't have any change for you. Don't worry, this is the apprenticeship fee. Can you help me get through this game? Tan Song said grandly. Xu Cheng is speechless. What is this? I call you brother, and you call me master. Do we each have our own opinions? Too much trouble, this child. However, looking at the brand new 10 yuan huge sum in his hand, Xu Cheng was still very happy. It was the first time in his new life that he made money with intellectual property. How meaningful it is. The two of them became masters and disciples, and their seats were also changed. Xu Cheng sat in the main position to operate, while Tan Song sat on the side to study diligently. Not long after, Xu Cheng easily eliminated the top 10 villains, connected the game, and formed a sharp contrast with Tan Song's previous difficulty. Tan Song sat on the side, almost kneeling down for Xu Cheng, looking at him with admiration in his eyes. After only a short while, have you cleared the game that you've been playing for months and can't figure it out? In the simple world of children, this is already unbelievable. Xu Cheng gave Tan Song a few more pointers and also borrowed his home computer to browse the latest news and information of the current era on the hottest Sohu website. After reviewing the current environment, he was finally called home by his mother to have dinner. It was probably very late at night when Xu Orange heard his father Xu Jianghe come back. He opened the door and peeked at his flourishing father, who was drunk and crying while holding his mother on the sofa. Fragile young people. Xu Cheng's family relationship is very harmonious. His father Xu Jianghe dotes on his mother, and the two have never even argued in their lifetime. The line in "Chicken Feather Flies to the Sky" is quite realistic, and it fits perfectly with He Ying, "I only live 3 words in my life, Zhejiang." As for the reason why Dad is sad, Xu Cheng probably knows a little. Firstly, let's talk about the macro perspective. In 1998, state-owned enterprises were like a heavy burden, with widespread losses that even leaders had to give instructions to acknowledge reality before finding a solution. A grain of ash from the era, falling on a person's head, is like a mountain. So, like countless state-owned enterprises today, the factory where my father works has also embarked on the path of bankruptcy, with its assets unable to repay its debts and its employees leaving their homes. But there's another thing to say, it's a blessing in disguise. Dad's factory is also quite clever, learning from the experience of British corporate reform, implementing an internal shareholding mechanism, publicly listing, and employee internal shareholding. So now there is a choice to put in front of my dad. He can invest money in stocks, and if he makes money, he can share the soup. But if the factory is still bankrupt, the money will be like a drop in the bucket for most people. It's a big gamble, but for Xu Cheng, it's like picking up money. Xu Cheng, who has been reborn, knows very well that in this state-owned enterprise reform, his father's factory will miraculously come back to life, and in next year's 519 bull market, this ST garbage stock will soar. So Xu Jianghe didn't pay to invest and become a small shareholder back then, which became a major regret for the Xu Cheng family. Otherwise, with the future size of the factory, a little bit of it would have been enough for Xu Cheng to lie flat and collapse. This good deal must not be missed. Xu Cheng wrapped his little blanket tightly and thought to himself. The next morning, He Ying was very surprised that his son had already dressed himself. "Mom, do you think I should have my own pair of underwear now that I'm so old?" Xu Cheng solemnly suggested to He Ying at the dinner table. He doesn't know why, but the parents of He Ying's generation always feel that their children are too young to wear underwear, so he can only vacuum pack them and go to kindergarten every day. "What kind of shorts are you in such a hurry to wear?" "I'll buy you 2 when you go to elementary school," He Ying said impatiently. Xu Jianghe rode his motorcycle to take Xu Cheng to kindergarten, and before leaving, he didn't forget to pat Xu Cheng's head. "Be good, son smash." Xu Cheng took a few steps back and looked at his worried father. He opened his small arms and put on a harmless expression. "Hug. It's just right to hold it now, but growing up a little longer will make you feel embarrassed." Xu Jianghe was stunned for a few seconds, then bent down to embrace Xu Cheng. Xu Cheng's tender voice rang in his ear. "Dad, don't be afraid of any difficulties we encounter, face them with a smile, come on." "Ali." Xu Jianghe smiled happily, feeling a sudden warmth in his heart. The haze in his heart these days was instantly swept away. He smiled and patted Xu Cheng's buttocks, admonishing her not to cause trouble, then rode away on a motorcycle, with the iron chain on the BB machine shining brightly in the sunlight. Xu Cheng knew that if his father were alone, he would definitely invest in the company and put in some effort, but he still had a family and couldn't afford to lose, lacking the confidence to play at the poker table. However, it seems that our family is about to encounter an opportunity, and if we seize it, it will definitely give Dad some confidence. Carrying a huge sum of 10 yuan in his pocket, Xu Cheng ran to the small shop at the school gate and bought a mango-flavored No-2 family lollipop for 50 cents. He counted the money before returning to the kindergarten. Just entering the gate of the kindergarten, Xu Orange heard Lin Wan's Congee shouting. "Xu Cheng." She was still wearing the small blue and pink dress, pouting her small buttocks and carrying her hands behind her, rushing towards Xu Cheng like a small plane taking off. "Xu Cheng, this is for you." After running for a few steps, Lin Wan Congee can't breathe well. His chest rises and falls, and he hands Xu Cheng a brand new brown book, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. "Why give me this?" Xu Cheng was stunned. Lin Wan Congee seriously held Xu Cheng's small hand. "This is my gift for apology. I saw you look at this yesterday, and we also have a copy of it, so I will bring it to you." "Xu Cheng has lived in Bengbu, is this considered stealing a house?" "Your mother didn't agree, I can't take it. Besides, why did you apologize to me?" "Mom said girls can't cry easily, otherwise they won't be able to get married when they grow up. I was wrong yesterday. I won't do this again in the future. I'm sorry." Lin Wan Congee's sincere attitude made Xu Cheng embarrassed. It's okay." Inside its solid body, there is still hidden joy. She remembers what I saw yesterday. Although it's only 2 days since he came back from his rebirth, Xu Cheng always has a common idea that Lin Wan Congee must like himself. Take a closer look at Lin Wan Congee's eyes. It is clear that I am all over them. Although children may not know what it is to like, Xu has read many stories from the beginning to the end. If you think so, I am currently holding the Qingmei script of Tianhu in my hand. If the other half can be Lin Wan Congee, Xu Cheng can also grudgingly promise, as if she is worthy of herself in all aspects. Bathing in the spring breeze and walking towards the classroom, Xu Cheng began to ponder another important question. I am so close to Lin Wan Congee. How did I get separated in my previous life? When he was in high school, he also met Lin Wan Congee several times. It was just like a stranger. I didn't really remember it for a while, until I heard other children chatting. "Li Qiuyang, which primary school are you going to?" The chubby little boy with a big snot said, "Experimental primary school, my mom said it's the best primary school in the city." Xu Cheng suddenly realized. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Mysterious Reasoning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Mysterious Reasoning. The arrangement in kindergarten is very relaxed, with 5 minutes of class and 2 hours of play. Xu Orange remembered the lollipop in his pocket and put it into Lin Wan's Congee hand. "Here you are. This is what I promised you yesterday." Yeah, Lin Wan Congee, who got the lollipop, turned around happily, and 2 lovely little pears appeared on his face, showing a bright smile like the sunrise. "You actually remember, I forgot about it." "Thank you, Xu Cheng." She tore open the sugar paper, put the lollipop in her mouth, and with a happy expression on her face, she began to circle again. Xu Cheng was watching from the side, looking helpless, and you didn't feel dizzy either. Is it delicious? Well, good times. Congee nodded forcefully, and then thought of something. Like a little rabbit, he jumped in front of Xu Orange and handed Xu Orange the lollipop he had eaten to his mouth. Xu Orange smelled the mango aroma on the lollipop. Mom said to remember to share good things. Xu Cheng, let's eat together. Cough cough, you can eat it yourself. I'll read the book for a while and return it to you after school. Xu Cheng pushed her arm away and climbed onto a nearby chair, spreading the collection of Sherlock Holmes detective stories on his lap and flipping through it. Congee comes up to Xu Cheng again. He stares at Xu Cheng for a while and then looks at books. His face is full of inconceivability. Wow! Xu Cheng, you're amazing. You know how to read. I can't understand this at all. Xu Cheng felt helpless. Those who knew this was a kindergarten, while those who didn't thought they had joined the praise group. Xu Cheng, what is this book about? Can you read it to me? Congee squatted in front of Xu Cheng again, holding his head and looking at Xu Cheng with watery eyes, which made him embarrassed. It's about reasoning. What is reasoning? Inference is the process of omitting all the intermediate reasoning processes and only explaining the starting point and conclusion to the other party. Although this method may seem simple and crude, it is capable of achieving astonishing results. Seeing Congee's eyes filled with confusion, Xu Cheng explained again, yes. If you lose something, you can find it for you through reasoning. Congee didn't know if he understood it. His eyes were full of excitement. Wow! How awesome! Not to mention, watching the future female academic achievers worship themselves so much, Xu Cheng still has a faint sense of pride in his heart. Xu Cheng, I lost my sock, you can help me find it with your reasoning. Congee Milky Way. Xu Cheng looked at her feet. A pair of white socks were all on Congee's feet. It's not lost, isn't it, on your foot? Congee didn't answer either. He sat down on the ground and took a long time to take off his socks. Then he rolled up into a ball and threw it aside, purring his mouth and pulling Xu Cheng's arm pitifully. Lost. Xu Cheng. Your abacus beads are all on my face. Hey. He walked over helplessly and bent down to pick it up from the ground. Oh, here you are. Wow, the reasoning is so amazing. Congee blushed and looked at Xu Cheng with adoration in her eyes. Xu Cheng was embarrassed. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to sink into this feeling of being worshipped by young academic elites. He suddenly remembered that the first reason for Kudo washing machine was to attract Xiaolan's attention in the Sakura class. Xiaolan's adoration eyes at that time were exactly the same as Congee's eyes at the moment. No wonder this guy is obsessed with reasoning. Wananenaba porridge clumsily put on socks for herself. Unfortunately, her short arms could not reach her feet, and it was also crooked to wear them reluctantly. Xu Cheng had to squat in front of her and carefully help her to put Bai Huahua's socks back in order. That's it. Hey. You're still taking off. Blinking an eye, it was Ying who came to pick up Xu Cheng again after school. Today, my mother was obviously in a good mood. When she came here, she also took a bunch of bingtangulu in her hand. She said that she bought one on the way. It was sweet and sour. In a sunny day, she bit gently. It was crisp and cold, making all the children in the next class cry. Orange, what do you want to eat tonight? Xu Cheng's heart stirred and he asked, Mom, is there anything happy today? Mom is about to get promoted, and in the future, Mom can earn more money and buy you more toys, Ying said with a happy expression on her face. Xu Cheng is a little sober person in the world. Even if an adult who knows baby earns more money, he will definitely not buy himself more toys, but he is still happy in his heart. The opportunity at home has arrived. The so-called mission of generation after generation, Xu Cheng couldn't even get into a public institution despite breaking through his skin, and his mother Hiying was easily assigned to it as soon as she graduated, located at Haixing Publishing House in Jinghai City. For his mother Hiying's job, Xu Cheng felt that it was really too hard and felt very sorry for her. It wasn't until he became a social animal for many years that he finally came back to his senses. The 4 words, "Mom's job," are enough to summarize it: paid shit. As the new century approaches, publishing houses across the country have begun to undergo organizational changes. This change has brought opportunities for Hiying, perhaps because she gets along well with her colleagues and is appreciated by her superiors. There is a great hope that she can be promoted to the distribution department as a regional manager this time. The distribution department, also known as the sales department in layman's terms, is just a bit more appealing in a market economy. As the saying goes, one must have power and background when coming out to work, and this statement is even more so in the system. For ordinary families like Xu Cheng, it is a great thing for Hiying to encounter such an opportunity. More importantly, after my mother's promotion, her salary will increase, and my father will definitely have more confidence to take a chance. Curve saves dad, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. For the sake of his beautiful tomorrow, Xu Cheng must help his mother move forward smoothly no matter what. Lu Sun once said, "Do not open champagne at half-time." Hiying clearly didn't understand this truth. When he heard some news from the leader, he thought he was stable. He planned to hold a celebration banquet at home at night, but little did he know that victory was like dandelions on a hillside. If we follow the original timeline, the ultimate result of this event is that my mother will be quietly squeezed out by the airborne relatives due to her lack of ability. The bicycle stopped at the entrance of the vegetable market, and Hiying lifted Xu Cheng off the back seat like a chicken, then handed him a huge sum of 20 yuan from his shoulder bag. "Orange, Mom, go buy some vegetables. What do you want to eat tonight? Go to the deli and buy it yourself." Xu Cheng nodded, passed by a fish stall full of fishy smell, then turned around a meat stall with white flour meat, and casually glanced at the small blackboard in front of the stall. Raw pork costs 4 yuan per kilogram. Xu Cheng was greatly shocked. This price is also too moving. Using pork as a measure, if pork is calculated at 19 yuan per kilogram in 25 years, then the 40,000 yuan in 2023 is equivalent to a 10,000 yuan household in 1998. Of course, measuring it with a house is another way of saying it. While daydreaming, I arrived at the entrance of the deli. The meat stall and cooked food are very close. Turning around, there are several large insulated barrels placed on the stall, and a salty aroma of braised meat wafts out of the barrels. There is also a sign in front of it, with the dishes. Pig head meat, pig ears, pig feet written crookedly on the top. The prices are all indicated on the back. Boss, I want 2 pieces of pig feet," Xu Cheng said with a childish expression on his face. He stood in front of the stall, just revealing his head. The middle-aged vendor wearing a white apron saw him and stood up. He took out 2 pieces of pig feet from the insulation bucket and placed them on a traditional pole scale, swiping them one by one, and gestured in front of Xu Cheng. "Children, these 2 pieces of pig feet are a total of 1 kilogram and 6 taels. The braised pig feet are 9 yuan per kilogram, so 6 taels is 6,973. 6 taels is 7.3 yuan, and 9 yuan plus 7.3 yuan, a total of 16.3 yuan will be charged to you." Xu Cheng reached into his pocket and was about to pay when he suddenly felt something was wrong and pinched his fingers to calculate 6973. It was born to my mother. Signed, Favorite Friends Bookmark, New Author, First Time Writing a Book. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. What a Powerful Woman. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. What a Powerful Woman. I don't know where the booth is playing a popular song that anyone can hum a few lines of. Standing in front of the deli, Xu Cheng can still vaguely hear the melody of Wishing You Safe. Are you still earning so little? Are you still putting in so much effort? There are always some injustices on the road of life, please don't worry too much, it's better to be carefree and have a good time. Wishing you peace. Oh, wishing you peace. Xu Cheng also really wants to be as free and easy as Sun Yu sings in the song, but it's only 16.3 yuan. After 25 years, he may be too lazy to entangle with this vendor and just take out his phone to scan and leave. But now it's 1998, and prices are generally low. My mother only earns 300 yuan for a month's work, and ordering a plate of fish-flavored shredded pork at the Sichuan restaurant on the roadside costs only 10 yuan. This is worth scrutinizing. You need to be honest when doing business. It's not a good habit to like to judge people by their preferences. Xu Orange lay in front of the stall and tiptoed, saying, "Uncle, there are too many pig feet for me to eat. Give me one and forget it." The business of 2 pig feet turned into 1, and the vendor grumbled a few words of dissatisfaction. He wiped his hands on the white apron with fur balls on his chest, and used a clamp to take off a relatively large pig foot and place it on a nearby cutting board. Only a relatively small piece was left on the scale, and his hand gently pressed down on the side of the scale. "Child, this piece is big, 9 taels and 90.9 is 90.7. I'll charge you a total of 90.7 yuan. After speaking, the vendor quickly put the pig's feet into a plastic bag and handed them to Xu Cheng. Xu Cheng didn't take it either and shook his head at him with a harmless expression on his face. "Uncle, the 9 liang one is too big for me to eat. I want another small one, please help me exchange it for that one." The vendor frowned and his hand holding the plastic bag was suspended in mid-air, hesitating for a few seconds before retracting it. "Let me weigh you again," the vendor's voice was noticeably lower than before. "No need, uncle." Xu Cheng said with a sunny smile, "Didn't you weigh it just now?" The 2 pieces of pig feet together make a total of 16.3 yuan. This big one sells for 9.7 yuan, and subtracting 9.7 yuan from 16.3 yuan equals 6.6 yuan. The remaining piece must be 6.6 yuan. Upon hearing Xu Cheng's words, the vendor's face immediately turned black. He made a fool of himself and knew it clearly. Now it's either changing or not, it's as uncomfortable as being grilled on a stove. At this moment, there were not many people in the market, and the owners of several nearby stalls had already noticed this place. They tilted their heads and looked for a long time. At this moment, they heard Xu Cheng's words and burst into laughter. When doing business, we still need to prioritize honesty. Ah, people are doing what the sky is watching. Listening to the teasing of other stall owners next to him, the vendor's face was uncertain. Looking at Xu Cheng's immature face, he couldn't figure it out in his heart. Is he really evil now? Can't it be that I was led back by these tiny little devils? Xu Cheng was quick, first handing the money to the chopping board, and then tiptoed up to pick up the small pig foot that was placed on the chopping board. He knew at a glance that it was definitely heavier than the big piece claimed by the vendor. "Uncle, could you please give me some change?" The vendor just saw that Xu Cheng had already taken the other piece separated from the chopping board and hurriedly said, "Hey! You child, hurry up and get it back for me." "Well, I can't change your money. Go buy it from another place, I won't sell it anymore." The vendor seems to be a bit impatient and frustrated. He fights geese all day and is eventually pecked blind by geese. He thinks to himself that if he really falls into the hands of a little ghost, how can he continue to run around in this vegetable market in the future and not be laughed at by other vendors? As he spoke, he bypassed the stall and walked towards Xu Cheng, without showing any manners, grabbing from his hands. Just then, a figure appeared in time and blocked Xu Cheng's way. "I said to you, comrade, are you still shameless? How could you be too embarrassed to bully a child in broad daylight?" The woman leaned in front of Xu Cheng and scolded the vendor with a domineering and coquettish voice, immediately suppressing him. Xu Cheng, on the other hand, looked up curiously at the unfamiliar woman in front of him. She was probably about the same age as her mother, with a graceful figure and beautiful appearance, only wearing light makeup, and long brown hair draped over her shoulders. Wearing a pair of black slender high heels, her round and smooth calves were wrapped in flesh-colored stockings, emitting a hazy luster like cicada wings. Dressed in professional black attire, she exuded an intellectual and elegant demeanor of a wealthy lady. Strong and beautiful, this is Xu Cheng's first feeling, but her beautiful appearance always feels a few indescribable familiar faces. The woman poked her heart with every word, and the vendor's face couldn't bear to show her weakness. However, she was unwilling to give up and forced herself to reason, saying, "What have I bullied? I sell my own things if I want to sell them, and if I don't want to sell them, I don't want to sell them. What's going on?" Gao Man hugged his chest with both hands and sneered calmly, "Yes, let alone whether to sell or not. It's 69.73, 99.97. This is the first time I've seen such a calculating businessman. It's not embarrassing for such an adult to earn money from their children's pockets. Isn't that a little bit of conscience in their chest only worth 1 or 2 yuan?" The powerful woman Xu Cheng was secretly shocked. The vendor was scolded with a face full of shame and anger, but as soon as he looked up, he saw more and more people joining in the fun around him. He took a deep breath and went back to the booth to count the change for Xu Cheng, as if he had swallowed the loss. "I feel regretful in my heart. I didn't succeed in my small plan, so I just accepted the loss. Why couldn't I resist competing with this child? If this matter spreads to the outside world, the signboard may be ruined. After all, the most important thing in business is reputation." Orange. Outside the crowd, Ying rushed over with a few black plastic bags, unsure of what had happened here, fearing that her son would be bullied. "Are you the mother of this child?" Gao Man looked at Ying and told him the whole story. "Director Gao, thank you so much for running into you today." Ying thanked Gao Man while glaring at the vendor with a protective expression on her face. "Lao Yang, you've bought things from me several times before. Are you just doing business like this? It's not very particular, is it?" The vendor awkwardly apologized and quickly cut half a pound of pig head meat for Ying to serve, saying that he was really confused today and that you don't remember being a petty person. Ying didn't hesitate to say anything. Her ability to keep up with the world was not bad. She knocked on the items and then accepted them. The vendor was also grateful. Gao Man looked in his eyes, with a hint of appreciation, and then asked Ying in surprise, "How do you know me?" Ying hurriedly said, "I am Ying from our publishing house. I have seen Director Gao several times before." Gao Man suddenly realized, "Oh, you're Ying, what a coincidence. I only heard Deputy Director Yang talk about you this afternoon." "Yeah," Ying said happily. "The success of children's education is truly remarkable. It's the first time I've seen such a clever child. They say that children are the epitome of parents, and at first glance, I know that sister he is also an outstanding person." "Oh, you're welcome." Gao Man crouched down and touched Xu Cheng's head. "Children, how old are you?" Being so close to the beautiful aunt, Xu Cheng appeared a bit cramped. 6 years old. At the age of only 6, is she so good at counting? Gao Man was surprised. "She's the same age as my daughter. She's such a smart child." "What's her name?" "Xu Cheng." Upon hearing this name, Gao Man's gentle gaze just now suddenly became strange, and the corners of his mouth also slightly raised, more like a hint of playfulness than a smile. "Oh, you're Xu Cheng." End of this chapter. Chapter 6. What to play in a family game. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. What to play in a family game. The wind blows and the rain washes, a city flower. In the season of spring returning in valley rain, the temperature gradually rises, the cuckoos cry at night, the peonies bloom, and the sky is like a piece of blue jade with excellent water head, rippling with a touch of warmth. Today is Lin Congee's birthday. She told Xu Cheng many times in the morning and asked him to celebrate her birthday hundreds of times. In fact, the two families live in the same community, both in the publishing house's family yard near the organ kindergarten. Xu Cheng also learned that afternoon that the original high director was Lin Congee's mother. No wonder he felt familiar. He strolled alone in the family courtyard of the publishing house, carrying a small box, occasionally giving a kick to the rising sun bottle on the ground. My thoughts sway. It has been 4 days since I last met Gao Man. If we follow the original timeline, the news of my mother's promotion will only come to an end without any follow-up. Xu Orange originally wanted to try to find some way to make everything change. But after encountering Gao Man last time, things unexpectedly went smoothly. Perhaps she helped in the middle. That night, Ying received a call from the unit leader, informing her to prepare a sales plan for the next quarter in this region. The underlying message was to see how much weight you have. This is not only the beginning of family happiness, but also the source of Ying's pain. My mother, who is already accustomed to fishing, has been brushing her hair these days to prepare a plan. Regarding this, Xu Cheng said, "We need to continue working hard. You are so young, and your child is so young. If you don't fight at this time, you should work hard to make a 996 comeback. Don't just lie flat." Of course, in order to help Ying stand out, Xu Cheng, the small pillar of the family, still needs to find some ways. He has some ideas about the sales plan, but for a 6-year-old child, it's too scary to tell his mother directly. He needs to come up with a plan to suggest it. The first link of the plan is here: Lin Congee. Find the door according to the address Lin Wananenaba Porridge told him, knock on the door, and the door opens quickly. Behind the door is Gao Man in plain clothes. "Hello Auntie," Xu Cheng said obediently, looking innocent and innocent. "Oh, it's Xu Cheng. Come on in, come on in." Xu Orange went in, put on a pair of frog slippers for children, and looked around. Although they were all in the same community, Lin Congee's house was larger than his own, and the decoration was more elegant. The mahogany floor was a rare design in this era. Slowly, Orange. The familiar voice in my ear rang out. Lin Wananenaba Porridge, wearing a light pink skirt, ran out of a bedroom deep in the corridor excitedly and grabbed Xu Cheng's arm. "Xu Cheng, look at what I've done." Lin Congee proudly put the paper crane he had just learned to make in front of Xu Orange. The paper crane was made of red cardboard, and his head was carefully painted with colored pens. Girls may have some talent for handicrafts. Lin Congee's 1,000 paper cranes are very clever. Xu Cheng praised them and handed Lin Congee the carton he was holding. "Lin Congee, happy birthday. Here, this is for you." Lin Wananenaba Gruel was very happy when he received the gift. He opened it in 2 or 3 seconds to reveal the small gift carefully made by Xu Orange in the box. There were 2 paper cups with a red sweater thread in the middle. Those who went to primary school and played science experiments knew this paper cup phone. For Xu Cheng, who doesn't have much economic strength, this can be considered the most thoughtful gift he can prepare. Xu Orange handed Lin Congee 1 cup and held the other one by herself. "As long as you talk to this cup, I can hear it on the other end." "Really? You can give it a try." Lin Congee held a cup in 2 small hands, and Xu Cheng had no idea what to say, so she had to demonstrate to her first. "PB Babu." Lin Congee heard Xu Cheng talking at the other end, and his face turned red with excitement. "Wow! I can really hear it, it's amazing." "Thank you, Xu Cheng. I really like this gift." Xu Cheng also felt happy, giving gifts according to his own heart, without following a man's 3 obediences and 4 virtues. This purity is too comfortable. Gao Man brought a plate of fruit and glanced at Xu Cheng's small gift. He was surprised and said, "Wow, is this the gift Xu Cheng gave you? It's really amazing, Xu Cheng." Xu Cheng scratched his head with embarrassment, feeling happy in his heart. He must have been a very clever child in Gao Manman's heart. Well, it must be like this. Because of my appreciation, I feel that He Ying's education was very successful, and then I affirmed He Ying's ability. I appreciate her and am willing to help in the middle it strung together. The lunch was very sumptuous, which was the most luxurious meal for Xu Cheng when he came back from his rebirth. But until the end of the day, Xu Cheng didn't see Lin Congee's father. It was said that because he was too busy with his work, he couldn't make it back. After a few mouthfuls of food, the child was satisfied. Lin Congee was so fond of the gift given by Xu Cheng that he had to hold it in his hand when eating. After dinner, Gao Man goes to wash the dishes, and Xu Cheng and Lin Congee sit on the sofa to watch the Teletubbies. This may be a bit naive for Lin Congee, but it's just good for Xu Cheng. He enjoyed it. "Xu Cheng, let's go to play family. I'll be your mother and you'll be your baby." Xu Cheng had a clever idea and just managed to implement the plan. What's the meaning of playing house? We've played with companies before. Lin Congee's big eyes were full of confusion. Having worked for a company. What is that? Having a company is similar to having a family. I will be the company owner and you will be the investor. Lin Wananenaba Porridge had never played this game. He thought it was very novel and immediately agreed, well, we played the company. "Xu Orange, what's your company's name?" "It's called Xiangxin Group." Not very pleasant to hear, a name or anything is not important. When starting a company, you need to be pragmatic. Our company now needs funds. How much money do you have as an investor? I have 50 yuan. You have 50, and with my 9 and 5 yuan, 50 and 50 yuan is almost enough. So, now I have a startup project, you give me your 50 yuan, and I calculate that you have invested 50 yuan in the seed rotation. When I operate it, I will distribute dividends to you. Lin Congee is clutching his fingers and looking confused. She doesn't quite understand that it's 50 yuan in her own small vault. How can Xu Cheng become his when he touches his mouth up and down? She vaguely felt that this company game didn't seem to be that fun. Seeing Lin Congee hesitating, Xu Cheng continued to encourage. "Kiki, Lin Congee, we are good friends, so I took you to make money and play. I didn't give other children the chance to play with me." Lin Congee then nodded hesitantly, "Okay, I'll give you the money." Then he trotted to his bedroom, buttoned up the piggy bank and took out the deposit in it, and handed it to Xu Cheng, who counted it and found it was just 50 yuan. "Alright, now you have invested 50 yuan, and our valuation for Xiangxin Group is 100 yuan, so now you have taken away 50% of Xiangxin Group's shares." Lin Congee is confused. Although he doesn't understand what Xu Cheng is talking about, he feels very powerful and interesting. Xu Cheng, what are we going to do next? Next, we need to go shopping. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Endless Ties. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Endless Ties. The buyer had to go out. In the name of going out to play, he passed the approval of Gao Man. Xu Cheng took Lin Congee out of the door. Whether it's going through the company or playing outside with children, Lin Wananenaba Porridge feels very strange. She jumps happily and holds the paper cup phone sent by Xu Cheng in her hand. What children like is brought wherever they go. Lin Congee, do you often mention my name in front of your mother? Xu Cheng was very curious. Thinking of the playful look in Gao Man's eyes at the cooked food stall that day, it was clear that he had already heard of my name. I think I can't get away from Lin Congee. The girl likes herself so much that she always mentions me at home. Upon further reflection, it is also possible to say something about marrying me when I grow up. Well, it must have been this way that Gao Man became interested in me. No, to Xu Chen's surprise, Lin Wan Congee denied it directly. My mother asked about it herself. What did she ask? Oh, let me think about it. By the way, she asked me the name of the child who was criticized by parents for peeing in her pants after kindergarten that day, and I told her your name. Xu Cheng's face turned red, and he almost wanted to find a crack in the ground and dive straight in. This black history is really unavoidable. Lin Wan Congee stared at Xu Chen with clear eyes. Xu Chen, why don't you speak? It's blocked, let's throw the drift bottle together in the future. Ah. During the noise, Xu Chen took Lin Wan Congee to the gate of the community and saw that Xu Chen still wanted to go out. Lin Wan Congee grabbed Xu Chen's clothes in fear and said softly, Xu Chen. Mom won't let us go out to play. Xu Cheng nodded and said, yes, she doesn't let us go out to play, but we're going out to do business. We didn't go against your mother's wishes, did we? Isn't that a conflict? Lin Wan Congee looked up and thought about it. It seemed that there was something wrong with it, but there was nothing wrong with it. Xu Chen came to Lin Wan Congee's ear and whispered, don't you want to play in the company? Don't you wonder what's on the other side of the sea? Lin Wan Congee was shocked. Are we going to the seaside? This is a metaphor. What is a metaphor? Don't you know what a metaphor is? Looking at the bewildered Lin Wan Congee, Xu Chen suddenly became impatient. The child was really troublesome. Like an oil bottle, he could not understand his words and connect the stem. Forget it, don't follow me anymore. I'll go shopping on my own. You go home first and tell your mother that I've already gone home on my own. Ignoring Lin Wan Congee's pathetic expression, Xu Cheng turns around and walks out of the community gate, leaving Lin Wan Congee standing alone. Just a few steps away, he stumbled and felt that his clothes were being pulled. Turning back, it was Lin Wan Congee who pulled him. Didn't I ask you to go home? The breeze is gentle, and Lin Wananenaba Congee's small hand is very hard, and he grips Xu Chen's clothes tightly. But Mom said it's very dangerous outside with many bad people. What if Xu Cheng encounters danger? I need to protect Xu Cheng. Xu Cheng was stunned for a long time, coughed twice, then you have to follow me well. Lin Wan Congee smiled happily. The two-pair whirlpools seemed to blend into all the surrounding colors, and they were gorgeous in the shallow corners of his mouth. Xu Cheng's destination is the wholesale market in Jinghai City, which is not too far from the family home. It may only take a few minutes for adults to go, but according to his estimation, the two children's walk will take half an hour. The sunshine in the afternoon was warm but not hot, with a warm spring breeze lingering around the two children. Xu Chen, how long will Xu Chen go? Tell me a story. Lin Wan Congee's small hand still tightly clutches Xu Chen's coat corner, and the paper cup phone Xu Chen gave her hangs on her neck. When she was bored in kindergarten, Xu Chen would chat with Lin Wan Congee and tell her some stories suitable for children, such as the pig in Lang Lang Mountain and the dog with a chainsaw head. Let me tell you a story about a little duck queuing up. Xu Cheng placed his hands behind his head. Once upon a time, there was a little duck queuing up, wanting to align with the duck in front of him, but no matter what, it couldn't align. It muttered to himself, yes, 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 no. Lin Wan Congee stared at Xu Chen in bewilderment. Xu Chen was embarrassed when he looked at him. Cough, why are you looking at me all the time? Do you understand? Lin Wan Congee nodded gently and said, Her clear eyes were full of smiles, and her mouth was curved like a crescent moon. She was very happy. She carried her hands behind her back and walked forward with leaps and bounds. The two paper cups of the paper cup phone also jumped in the air with her jump. It's okay, the two walked through alleys and intersections together. All the experiences were new to Lin Wan's Congee. Along the way, she would suddenly squat down to see beautiful flowers on the roadside, or touch the orange cat napping under the stone chair. The more you go to the wholesale market, the more people flow. Looking at the red light on the sidewalk that is going to turn green, and the roaring steel torrent on the road, Lin Wananenaba Congee looks as serious as a big enemy. Xu Cheng noticed her expression and said, "What's wrong with you?" Lin Wan Congee faltered and explained, "I'm too slow. If I didn't walk past, I would be hit by a big car." Xu Cheng thought for a moment and said, "Then hold my hand and let's rush across the road in one breath." Oh. Lin Wan Congee tightly holds Xu Chen's hand. The temperature from Xu Chen's palm makes her feel relieved. At the second when the red light turned green, Xu Orange took her small hand and rushed across the zebra crossing. Both children ran breathlessly. Lin Wan Congee's forehead was soaked with sweat, and several pieces of hair stuck tightly to her forehead, but she was very happy. With Xu Cheng around, crossing the road doesn't seem so scary anymore. Take Lin Wan Congee to find a toy wholesaler. It is normal for children to buy toys, and buying other things will arouse adult suspicion. He didn't rush to buy it. Lin Wan Congee looked around the store twice until an uncle came to the store and bought it from the shopkeeper. Then he ran to the front desk and said to the shopkeeper, "Auntie, I also want 5 rubbings that the uncle wholesale just now, and 10 plastic pistols." Just now, he heard about the price. Tuoma Guzi batch costs 40 yuan for 5, and plastic small pistols batch costs 2 yuan for 10. I believe the shop owner will not be too embarrassed to deceive him now. Children, why did you buy so many? Do you know at home? Auntie can also order one here, but the price is slightly higher. Auntie, there are many younger brothers and sisters in my family, and my mother said I can't be a selfish child. I want to buy some toys for them too, Xu Cheng replied without blushing or jumping. "Ah. What a sensible child, Auntie can help you put it on." A sensible child is loved by everyone. The shop owner packed the things for Xu Orange and gave him some change, spending a total of 42 yuan. They received 5 rubbings and 10 plastic small pistols. Tuoma Jizi, also known as electronic pet eggs, is currently popular worldwide. The pirated version purchased by Xu Cheng is of good quality and affordable price. The pirated version drives out the genuine version, which is a unique feature of the Dragon Kingdom. The genuine version of Bandai has always been poor in the Chinese market due to its high price. Holding the black plastic bag, Xu Orange leaves contentedly and goes to Lin Wan Congee who is waiting at the store gate. "Xu Cheng, are you okay?" All right, we have completed the procurement. So what are we going to do next?" "Sales, but you don't need to worry about this. Let's go back quickly." The way back was a long way for the children. After walking for more than 10 minutes, Lin Wan Congee sobbed and grabbed Xu Chen's clothes, saying that he could not walk anymore. "If you can't walk, then take a break." Xu Cheng found a roadside lawn with 3 abandoned cement pipes piled on it, and the 2 of them climbed up and sat on it. At dusk, the setting sun sets a golden border on the clouds in the sky, and the chirping of birds blends with the music from the trumpet of a nearby elementary school after school. It is melodious and peaceful, with a gentle breeze. A few peach blossom petals, light pink, scatter like a drizzle, carrying the fragrance of peach blossoms to the tip of the nose, refreshing the heart. Xu Cheng leaned back on the pipe, lazily stretching his waist. At this moment, the world was surprisingly beautiful, and he had not calmed down to see it for many years. Xu Cheng. Lin Wananenaba Congee grabs the paper cup phone hanging on her neck and throws it to Xu Orange. "Let's call." Her little face looks red in the sunset. Xu Cheng yawned and clasped the paper cup to his ear. The crisp voice of Lin Wan Congee came from the paper cup, which sounded slightly magnetic. "Xu Cheng, what is your dream?" Xu Cheng blurted out, "Buy a house." Lin Wan Congee seems to be disdainful. He pouts and says, "Cut, your dream is too boring. What is your dream then? I hope I grow up quickly. Xu Cheng was surprised and said, why do we need to grow up quickly? When I grow up, I can do a lot of things. I can watch TV for a long time without anyone's attention. I can buy anything I want and get married. When it comes to marriage, Congee seems to be shy. He sneaks a glance at Xu Cheng, blushes a little, and his voice is also low. Is growing up so good? Have you ever thought that when you grow up, you won't know me anymore? Congee looked confused. Why don't you know Xu Cheng? There are many reasons. Just like when we are about to start elementary school, your family's conditions will definitely send you to the best experimental elementary school in the city. I can only be assigned to the ordinary Qingguan Elementary School, and it will be difficult for us to meet again every day, maybe even to say the last sentence. Going forward, perhaps we won't say a word for a year, 3 years, 4 years, or 10 years. Even if we occasionally encounter each other, we will feel embarrassed and pretend not to know each other. Gradually, we will forget about each other. Congee, who hasn't left yet, didn't think about it. Hearing Xu Cheng's words, he burst out with tears as if he had lost something important. She placed the paper cup on her lap, her eyes sparkling brightly under the sunset. I don't want to go to a different elementary school than Xu Cheng. I don't want to forget Xu Cheng. Woo-woo. Congee is crying fiercely. Xu Cheng is at a loss. She patted her on the back and tried to coax her. Cough, cough, don't cry, we must go to a primary school. Congee looked up, tears whirling at Xu Cheng, eyes red. Really? Xu Cheng wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes with his sleeve and said, really, really, you've cried like a little flower cat. Congee tried to suck his nose, and then looked for a bunch of white dandelions from the lawn. Then let's make an agreement with the dandelion. Congee and Xu Cheng. Nobody can leave anyone behind. We will grow up together. Congee held his hands in front of his chest, closed his eyes, and gently blew at the dandelion. The seeds like umbrellas flew away with the wind. At this moment, there was no adult playfulness on Xu Cheng's face. It's still quite sad. I remember every time I watch my childhood sweethearts like Xinlan and Yubing sprinkled with dog food, I feel a small sense of disappointment and regret deep down in my heart. But I didn't expect that in all the time I had forgotten, there was also such a fragrant and soft girl who valued him so much. Of course, life always goes through missed moments and separations, and no one dares to say that anyone can always be by their side. But since time has given him the opportunity to reunite with the destined person he missed, then hold on to fate tightly. Perhaps this bond can truly be like the flower language of dandelions, never ending. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Shocks him with a billion points. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 shocks him with a billion points with the warming weather. A Latin song with a cheerful melody and passionate melody quickly spread worldwide. Even in the less developed football world of China, children from government kindergartens have been humming in Xu Cheng's ear these days. Enough, enough. Oh tired, tired, tired. The World Cup theme song, The Cup of Life, which is a perfect match for football, has been praised as one of the most widely sung World Cup theme songs, several times more popular than The Lonely Brave. Its melody is announcing that the passionate summer is coming, and there is also the bloodthirsty football festival. The World Cup. The host country of this World Cup is France, and the match time is quite gloomy. Xu Cheng has been planning his plan to stay up late to watch the game these days. Because I was still young in my previous life, my impression of the 1998 World Cup was limited to its theme song. It was not until I fell in love with football that I realized how exciting the World Cup was that year. For the first time, it expanded to 32 teams participating in the competition, with all top strong teams participating, and the stars gathered without Messi and Ronaldo. This era belongs to Zidane, Ronaldo, and Beckham. There is simply no reason not to look. However, let's forget about betting on football. The legal football lottery was only launched after the Chinese national team made it to the 2002 World Cup, which is not yet possible. Of course, apart from conceptualizing the ball-watching plan, Xu Cheng spends almost all his time selling toys he has purchased. He is doing a serious business, with fair prices for both young and old people. He also sells children who he thinks have a decent family background. With his unique sales strategy, he hardly promotes them much. A few children spread the word and sold them all in the kindergarten. After having lunch that day, Xu Cheng pretended to sleep in bed for a while. When Xiaoyang teacher checked, he opened the quilt and pushed the Linwan Congee lying beside him. Teacher Xiaoyang has left, don't pretend to be asleep. After pushing for a long time, Linwan Congee turned around. She rubbed her eyes with sleepy eyes and stuck out her tongue in embarrassment. I'm sorry, I'm really asleep. Linwan Congee was not with her in the bed originally arranged by the teacher, and Xu Cheng didn't know what she had done to change the little girl who was lying beside her. At a young age, he easily accomplished the small achievement of sharing the bed with Qingmei. The two of them tiptoed out of bed and sneaked into the empty classroom. In the afternoon, the classroom was empty, with only a few dozen tables and chairs arranged in a disorderly manner. There was still a blackboard on which little sheep taught math that had not been wiped. The sunlight shone through the bright and clean glass of the window, creating a warm and peaceful atmosphere. Sneaking into the space under the table, Linwan Congee's face was red, and Xu Cheng's heart could not help speeding up. It sounded particularly clear in a quiet environment, and there was a sense of suffocation after doing something bad. He took out a handful of change from his pocket and whispered to Linwan Congee, well, this time we made a total of 85 yuan from other children. You hold 50% of the shares of Qiangxin Group, and half of your dividend is 42 yuan and 5 yuan. But I will deduct 2 yuan and 5 yuan for you to develop the good habit of paying taxes, and finally give you a total of 40 yuan. He gave Linwan Congee 40 pieces of money. Linwan Congee didn't understand how Xu Cheng calculated it, and didn't understand why he operated it. His contribution of 50 yuan was suddenly 10 yuan less than 40 yuan. Anyway, she was very happy to receive the money. She folded the money with full sense of achievement and put it neatly into her pink purse. Xu Cheng, this company is really fun. You can make money even more than my dad. Xu Cheng's face turned red, so I'll take it as if you're praising me. Haha. Did I catch you? In the quiet classroom, a piercing sound suddenly appeared. The annoying little chubby Li Qiuyang sneaked over at some point, throwing his two big snots as if he had discovered a big secret, and happily pointed at Xu Cheng. Xu Cheng, I'll go tell little sheep teacher right away that you're scamming everyone's money. You bad kid, you wait to be scolded. Little sheep teacher won't like you anymore. Li Qiuyang, what are you talking about? Xu Orange didn't cheat. Linwan Congee looked very angry. Xu Orange earned money from his own business. Humph. Who are you lying to? Xu Qingming doesn't even know how to do arithmetic. He was the only one who didn't know how to solve the arithmetic problem assigned by teacher Xiaoyang last time. You're talking nonsense. All right. Xu Chen stopped Linwan's Congee and smiled at Li Qiuyang. Are you good at counting? Of course I do. I am a math expert in the senior class of government kindergartens. Even teacher Xiaoyang said that my motherland is my future hope, much more powerful than you, a wet pants expert. Li Qiuyang proudly said. Oh, then I'll give you a question. 7 monkeys on the tree and 1 monkey underground, how many monkeys in total? Li Qiuyang nodded on his fingers for a while before finally raising his hands and shouting, humph, it's too simple. Do you think you can make it difficult for me? There are 8 monkeys in total. Wrong. Li Qiuyang widened his eyes in disbelief, then nodded his fingers and counted, that's not wrong. It's just 8. Congee pulled Xu Chen's coat corner in doubt, quietly lying in his ear and said, Xu Chen, he is right, 1 plus 7 equals 8. If you say he's wrong, he's wrong. Xu Cheng smiled, there's a monkey riding on the tree, and there's a monkey underground. There are only 2 monkeys. It took Li Qiuyang a while to realize whether he was riding or not. Damn it! How could that be? Li Qiuyang's face bulged into a ball, feeling as if he had been hit by some strange alien dimension reduction in his professional field. No. No. You have the ability to do another one. I definitely won't miscalculate. Okay, Xu Cheng smiled and looked at him. Say, there are 7 monkeys on the tree and 1 monkey underground. How many monkeys in total? 2. Li Qiuyang looked at Xu Cheng with a proud expression on his face. Humph, do you think I'm a child? Xu Cheng. You just told me that there was a monkey riding on the tree, don't try to deceive me again. Wrong. Xu Cheng shook his head and said, there are 7 on the tree and 1 underground. 1 plus 7 equals 8, and you don't even know how to calculate single digits. You even say you're good at counting, it's really weak. Ah. What? Isn't it riding? Damn it. Li Qiuyang seemed to be transforming into a Super Saiyan, his face flushed, his nose streaming down, and he sucked fiercely. Damn it, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Just now didn't count, let's have another one. The arithmetic king won't be easily defeated by the evil diaper spirit. Li Qiuyang, Xu Cheng, Congee, what are you 3 doing in the classroom without taking a nap? The classroom door was opened, and the bald male life teacher stood at the door with a stern face, looking seriously at the 3 children in the classroom. Woo-woo, teacher, Xu Cheng cheated everyone out of their money and even bullied me. Li Qiuyang cried and complained to teacher Xiaoyang. Xu Cheng. Is what Li Qiuyang said true? I didn't bully him, nor did I cheat money. I just gave him a few calculation problems, and I earned the money myself. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Filial piety brings out strength. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Filial piety brings out strength. Research has shown that there is a phenomenon of sharing negative information among the population, known as negative preference, which means that people tend to pay more attention to negative information and things, and reinforce this experience. Speaking of people, it is easy for them to notice bad things happening around them and become very interested in them. He Ying is very interested now. In the office, Xu Chen and Congee stood side by side. He Ying hurried to the kindergarten at the desk. She listened to the life teacher's story with a shocked face. Xu Cheng's mother, you need to talk about Xu Cheng well. At such a young age, you have developed a bad habit of fishing for the side door. How can you handle it when you grow up? The bald life teacher took a sip of tea and warned He Ying seriously. Yes, teacher. You're right in criticizing me, this child. He's constantly causing trouble and likes to get into trouble. He has a tendency to follow me, he. Xu Cheng's mother. What attitude are you having? How are you being playful and smiling? The life teacher spat at the tea foam and knocked heavily on the table with his fingers. Is this a simple cause of trouble? I don't see you realize the seriousness of the situation yet. This is disorganized and undisciplined. Going to the sea. That's just a 9-rate move. Xu Cheng rolled his eyes aside, realizing that the life teacher must have been pulled out of her girlfriend by a sea crab. She's almost in the new century and still harbors prejudice against going to sea. Humph, this teacher, what do you mean by what you're saying? A coquettish moan came from outside the office door, and Gao Man pushed open the door and walked in. His delicate face was not a pretty expression. The teacher advocates for equality for all, and it's okay to be the top scorer in the 360 line. Our family is in the business world, and you're also a bottom tier. The bald teacher coughed twice in embarrassment. Mom Lin Wan Congee, I was in a hurry to talk about that, and I didn't mean that. Xu Cheng sighed, the world of adults is indeed quite boring. Suddenly, her hands were pulled up by Lin Wan Congee. She was called a parent for the first time. She didn't feel afraid but was full of novelty. Xu Cheng, I'll make one, you make one, everyone make another together. Xu Cheng didn't show up at all, and his two palms were spread in the air, which was counted as cloth by Lin Wan's Congee. Yeah, I won. Ha! Can you beat me? Let me be serious. Over there, Gao Man quickly resolved this matter, but it wasn't really much at first. He could either make a big deal out of a small matter or turn it into a small one. The two parents left with Xu Cheng and Lin Wan Congee. In the office, the bald teacher took off his glasses and wiped the sweat on his forehead with a handkerchief. What a terrifying parent. Taking a step back from the vast sea and sky, he couldn't bear to think for a moment and became increasingly angry. He walked over to the phone, searched through the phone book, and found a number to dial. Hello. Li Qiuyang's parents. Li Qiuyang is causing trouble at school. Can you come over here for a moment? Upon returning home, Xu Cheng was directly interrogated by He Ying. Xu Cheng really wants her not to be alarmed. The 6-year-old American child is already practicing shooting, and different national conditions determine different roads. What's wrong with the 6-year-old Dragon Country child selling something? I played the company's games with Lin Wan Congee. We went to the toy store to buy some toys and sold them to our classmates. Xu Cheng tried to look aggrieved and said innocently with flashing eyes. He Ying is his biological mother and doesn't even eat this kind of trick. After all, he asks, how much did it cost to sell? How much did it cost? I sold 85 yuan in total, and I shared Lin Wan's Congee with him. What? 85, He Ying said in a higher tone. She thought it was a small sum of 1 or 2 yuan, but never expected her son to have a big life if he messed it up. Good guy, she's almost earning half a month's salary. Where's the money? How could a child have so much money on them? Hurry up and let me save it for you to use when you get married. Xu Cheng's heart is filled with sorrow and anger, baby's adult. How much money did you use this excuse to deceive me? After He Ying received the 45 yuan in Xu Cheng's hand and counted it all, she dared to believe that her son had really made a big business. She was full of worries, couldn't it be that her son had really cheated money at school? Negative preferences take effect, and He Ying asks Xu Cheng with confusion, how is this thing sold? You tell me from beginning to end. Xu Orange is happy to start talking. I went to the toy store with Lin Wanzhou Congee to buy some toys, including rubbings and plastic pistols. Then we drew a price list at school, and many children came to buy them. They sold out soon. As he spoke, he also took out the crumpled price list from his backpack as evidence, and drew the patterns of these two toys with colored pens on it, indicating the prices. 1. Plastic pistol 0.2 yuan, 2. Tuoma Gezi 0.15 yuan, 3. Plastic pistols and Tuma Songzi 0.15 yuan, He Ying smiled as she looked at it. Children are just children. How could anyone have such a high price? What is the significance of setting the second option at the same price? But as she pondered for a moment, she began to feel that it seemed very subtle. My head is so itchy, I'm going to grow a brain. Did you make this price list yourself? She asked in confusion. Xu Cheng would definitely not admit, we copied the toy store owner. Many children would grit their teeth and buy the third one. This is called behavioral economics, which induces the psychology and behavior of consumers. Placing the second option here makes the third option particularly valuable, which in turn leads to irrational shopping behavior among consumers. It can be considered a trick played by later generations such as Taobao and Pingxi Shi. He Ying pressed her chin and began to ponder. She had a bachelor's degree in economics and had been studying sales diligently these past few days. Now that such a price list appeared in front of her, it was too easy for her to think. The owner of this toy store is an expert, Ying muttered to herself. She already roughly understood the purpose of such a price tag. To sum up, it's just 2 words. Chicken thief. What a chicken thief. I originally only wanted to buy 1, but when I saw options 2 and 3, I wanted to take advantage of this small advantage and ended up spending more money. The more Ying thought about it, the more shocked she felt. She, who had always followed the rules, had never imagined that she could think about sales from such a perspective. It seemed as if the door to a new world had been opened in front of her. Well, hurry up and copy this idea into the sales plan. Anyway, all the serious academic research is also translated from Chinese to Chinese, so it doesn't matter if you copy it yourself. Mom has work to do. Here, I'll give you 6 yuan to buy 2 bowls of rice noodles in casserole downstairs. I don't need chili. She took out 6 yuan in change from the 45 yuan earned by Xu Cheng and handed it to him. Mom, I still earn this money myself. You don't give me a penny more, do you? A child pretends to have so much money on their body, either losing it or spending it recklessly. Look at their sturdy brother. I've heard from your Aunt Wang that since 2nd grade, they never spend money recklessly. You're almost in elementary school, can you learn from them? Good guy, Tan Song doesn't spend money recklessly. This story is more outrageous than Kong Rong. Why don't you take a look at Aunt Wang? I've heard Tan Songa say that Aunt Wang has a minor at the age of 30. Can you learn from her? Xu Cheng muttered softly. Ying had sharp ears and didn't hear a word, so she immediately rolled up her sleeves. Hey, this kid, where did you learn this set today? Let me see where my rolling pin went. Xu Cheng deftly slipped to the door and hid outside. Mom, you're right here. Don't move around. I'll go downstairs and buy a few bowls of noodles and come back. The wind is tight, tugging. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Win thoroughly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Win thoroughly. As the temperature gradually rises, the days start to get longer. There are several more stalls at the entrance of the kindergarten, including fried chicken, marshmallows, and roasted sweet potatoes. Everyone's clothes are gradually becoming thinner. Teacher Xiaoyang changed into a beige dress, and her figure became even more prominent. Whenever the hem of the dress fitted her legs, she could always see the perfect leg curve. Paired with a pair of simple rebound canvas shoes, her snow-white ankles seemed to be the most beautiful spring for a girl. Sue Orange was puzzled. How could she not remember such a sweet and soft female teacher in the kindergarten? No wonder when it comes to performing on International Children's Day, the dads always come actively. Thinking that teacher Xiaoyang will marry Yanzu in front of the screen in a few years, Xu Cheng's congratulatory teeth are almost biting apart. Xu Cheng is now a popular figure in kindergarten. Apart from the grand diaper incident, the sale of toys has been shocking and has been heard by many parents. But apart from these 2 major events, Xu Cheng is actually very quiet in his daily life. He tries to be as transparent as possible and enjoys this last period of kindergarten time comfortably. Compared with Xu Chen, Lin Wan Congee is more popular in kindergarten. After all, people only want to know your 3 views when they appreciate your 5 senses. Lin Wan Congee is beautiful, not to mention its personality, which is also warm and glutinous. It is very polite, and naturally has a lot of good friends. However, Xu Chen seems to be the special one among her friends. Lin Wan Congee not only needs to sleep beside him in the afternoon nap, but also needs to sit with Xu Chen when eating. She can even seize the time to rub Xu Chen together. Baby Xu Cheng, Mom has prepared vegetables, bean sprouts, and carrots for you today. Lin Wan Congee puts all the vegetables in her bowl into Xu Cheng's bowl, and then takes all the braised pork belly she likes from Xu Cheng's bowl. You're not good, Xu Cheng. Why are you eating this again? Children can't eat these junk foods. Mom even said it would cause tooth decay. Xu Cheng. Suggest grabbing it directly next time, don't make it so complicated. In addition to Lin Wan's Congee, there is another guy who likes to stick Xu Orange. Everyone, come and take a look. There's not even meat in the diaper and rice. Everyone has it, but you don't. Li Qiuyang sat on the other side of Xu Cheng, calling on everyone to come and mock him. He had been like this for the past few days, following behind Xu Cheng's buttocks, trying to find any difference from other children to isolate him. Li Qiuyang, how can you say Xu Chen like that? Xu Chen nodded at her affirmatively. My braised pork belly is all in your stomach. You must help me settle this matter. Li Qiuyang didn't listen, holding on to a big chicken leg, shaking his head and blowing cowhide on his face, trying to anger Xu Cheng. Slightly, Xu Cheng doesn't have any meat to eat. My mother wants to make chicken legs, duck legs, and fish legs for me to eat at night. Slightly, I can't get any urine pants essence. The children next to them all looked envious, and Xu Cheng was also quite envious. Brother, can we go to your house to taste fish legs tonight? Xu Cheng, what do you have for dinner at your house? The chubby little man teased Xu Cheng with a sinister expression. Our family. Let me think. Xu Cheng rubbed his chin and pondered for a moment. Oh, we have steamed lamb, steamed bear paw, steamed deer tail, braised duck, braised chicken, braised goose, braised pig, red, stewed duck, pickled chicken, bacon, steamed tripe, dried meat, sausage, assorted suzhou dish, smoked chicken white tripe, steamed babao pig, steamed duck stuffed with rice, gudong. There is not a child next to them who doesn't stop drooling. For this era where children can even use punctuation marks for arguments, they won't doubt whether your family actually has it. As long as they hear that you say more dish names than I say, they feel very powerful. Li Qiuyang is no exception. Hey! Why do you suddenly feel that the chicken legs in your hand don't smell good? Damn it, why am I so angry? The greedy Lin Wan Congee also stretched out his small hand to pull Xu Orange's coat. Xu Orange, Xu Orange. What's wrong? Can I come to your house tonight to play? Xu Cheng suddenly realized an iron rule, no matter how big, any woman who says this to you must have another intention. In the afternoon, the leaders of the Education Bureau came to inspect the kindergarten. Xu Chen stood in the queue, holding Lin Wan Congee's small hand, and shouted, "Welcome," with other children to welcome the leader to get off the bus. The kindergarten was well prepared for the arrival of the leader, and even rehearsed several times in class. Teacher Xiaoyang clapped her hands on the podium and spoke softly. Children, whose turn is it for today's story sharing session? Lin Wan Congee. The children below answered in unison. Xu Cheng sat in his seat, looking helpless. There will be no story sharing sessions. And only Lin Wan Congee was arranged. Lin Wan Congee was chosen because she is the smartest child on the surface in the kindergarten. She can skillfully tell the story of 3 little pigs, and she has a good image and temperament. This occasion certainly requires her to appear. I'm tired of listening to the crooked stories for a long time. No matter how vivid Lin Wan's Congee is, Xu Chen can't help but feel sleepy. He lies down on the table and starts to close his eyes. Kindergarten, it's normal for children to sleep when they're tired. Not only Xu Cheng, but several other children have also fallen asleep after taking a nap. They were already forcibly pulled up, so it doesn't matter if your leader doesn't lead, they just fall asleep. In this regard, the leader will not say anything and cannot criticize teacher Xiaoyang for inadequate supervision and student freedom and laxity. Xu Orange just lay down for 3 seconds. Little lamb teacher. Little lamb teacher. Li Qiuyang threw his nose and raised his hand high, causing everyone to stand up and jump around, almost stepping on the stool. What's wrong, Li Qiuyang? Teacher Xiaoyang, Xu Cheng doesn't sound good. He's sleeping there. With a swipe, both students and leaders turned their attention to Xu Cheng in the entire classroom. Lin Wan's Congee on the platform was confused. She stopped and looked at Little Sheep's teacher with a puzzled face. She didn't know whether the interrupted story should continue or what. Where did I go just now? Which little pig did the big bad wolf go to? The arranged classroom is completely chaotic now. Teacher Xiaoyang held her forehead, looked at Xu Cheng, then at Li Qiuyang, and finally smiled at the leader behind the classroom. Little chubby, wait for me. Biting teeth and cutting teeth, Li Qiuyang didn't know about this. His face was full of joy, and his heart was also filled with joy. He also felt that teacher Xiaoyang must have liked me more, and he would definitely hate mischievous children like Xu Cheng even more in the future. Win thoroughly. End of this chapter.